So, if you don't know who Suris is, he is a channel who started out as like a philosophy, religion channel where he would like debunk religious people and stuff, but he's moved towards politics. And in this video, he talks about political existence. And the title of this video is my existence political? The answer is yes, but it's unfortunate. Pretty much what he goes on to talk about, how if we look at white, straight, cis, het people, right, they don't have a political existence. They don't have to have conversations where they have to validate their existence and fight for basic rights. Because the rights of minorities is a political issue. Unfortunately, we have to fight legal battles for this. We have to lobby and advocate and get the people we need in power to give us our rights. And so that makes it a political issue. And we're at a point in time where people are debating the existence of people to do things. Think about that. Think about how disturbing and depressing that is. That people's existences are being debated in political conversations. Should trans people have rights? Should they be allowed to transition? Should gay people be able to get married and adopt? Like, why is this even a question? Well, it's because their existence is political. And so when people with political existences have personal relationships, which everyone has personal relationships with people, whether it be your family, friends, other people, work people, etc. You know, you have relationships with people. There are some people who they don't think that it's acceptable to have a political existence. It is out of what they find to be acceptable. And when that happens, you as someone with the political existence have to have these conversations where you are verbally defending your existence and your rights with family members and people that are in your life, right? People who don't have political existences, they never have to deal with this. They never have to have these conversations of, oh, I'm with Suris as an example. He says that since he's an atheist and he lives in a religious family, him talking about atheism or whenever anything religious comes up, he has to choose either to hide that part of himself from people he cares about or have a discussion in which he defends his validity as a person. And that's really, really messed up. People shouldn't have to do that. But it's the world we live in, and the only way to really fight against this and change the world is to talk about it and make it to where it is, you know, existences which we deem are political are more normalized to the point to where they're not political anymore. That's really it. That's really the only thing we can do. And it is such a hard battle to fight. It really is an extremely difficult battle to fight. And it really doesn't have to be. People can just not be bigoted. Okay, being part of a marginalized group, being gay, trans, atheist, poly, whatever is not acceptable within society, to be one of those things is not a choice, right? If I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, my conclusions, my thought processes got me to that point. I can't control what I believe and what got me to that point. If something else gets me to believe in God and change my perspective, that's not up to me. That's up to something else out of my control changing my beliefs. So if that happens, oh shit, I forgot where I was going with this. What I'm trying to say is that, like, bigotry is a choice. You could choose to be a dick and say that someone's existence isn't valid and that they should stop existing. That is a choice. Now, the conditions that got you to believe that, that's not a choice, but to act upon it, that is a choice. And there are people, and I respect people like this far more than people who are just loud about their bigotry. I respect people who they may not agree with a marginalized group, they may not think that trans people are valid, but since whenever they talk to trans people, they do respect their pronouns. I think that to do that is, that's my evidence, I guess, for the fact that bigotry is a choice. They're exercising self-control and not shitting on a person's identity and existence. I don't really think there's anything else to say about it. I mean, Suris kind of repeats himself a lot in this video because he's just kind of going off the cuff, and nothing wrong with that. Completely understand and respect his perspective. But yeah, I mean, I guess that is sort of my take on it. I mean, I could talk a little bit about my personal life. I'm trans and I'm an atheist, and when I lost my faith in a religious family, that did not go well for me, and it was a conversation every day where I would have to defend my lack of belief, and it was really annoying, and it took a long time for me to say, hey, can we stop talking about this? It's not going anywhere. And now I have to hide that part of myself from my family. As far as being trans, I'd say my parents are at that point to where they respect my pronouns, but they don't truly believe it deep down. While that's better than some of my other family members who will not acknowledge that part of me, and I'd have to actively hide that part of myself and make a fabricated, or not necessarily make but put on a fabricated identity that I don't associate with whenever I interact with them. That's pretty unfortunate for me. That's pretty unfortunate for me, and I want my parents to be at a place to where they don't have to be tolerating me. I want them to be at a place to where they're accepting me. And I want that for my whole family, and I want that for the whole world. It's a lot to ask for, apparently, to just be accepted. I mean, people are able to swap out names pretty easily. Suris brought this up in his video, which is it was a pretty good example, and I'm gonna snag it. It's pretty easy to treat a trans person with the name and pronouns they want. There are people in your life probably that have nicknames like, Tom, Tommy, Thomas, and you can interchange all of those with that person in your life. So if it's so easy to switch names, you should be able to switch a name with someone who has a different gender as well. It's really not that hard. And also with YouTubers, you have Vosh, for example. His real name's Ian. Some people call him Ian. It's not hard. Oh, you want me to define political in this context? Yeah, that is a good comment. A lot of people are confused as to what political means. And political doesn't just mean like Democrats or Republicans, Trump and Biden and all that stuff. It's conservative and liberal. It's ideologies and values that are political. It's the framework in which we think and view morality in the world. All of that is political by my definition of the word political, because in essence, all of these values determine, these values are all held by people who have power to make policy decisions. So by extension, these values would therefore be political because they're held by people who make the policy decisions. Hope that clarifies. I mean, I think we covered everything. I think I got everything out that I wanted to say. I have a political existence, and it sucks, it's hard, it's a pain in the ass, and it shouldn't be like that. I know a lot of people who do too, and oh yeah, The Last of Us 2. I'll bring that up real quick. There's this character in The Last of Us 2, Abby, and Abby is a cis heterosexual woman who just has a non-conventional body type in this video game, and this was a political issue. Her existence was political. Even fictional characters aren't safe from having political existences. That's kind of what I wanted to touch on. Also Lev in The Last of Us 2. He's a trans character, and people think, oh, they're putting politics in my game. Technically they are, because all y'all make it political. Things are only political because we make them political. If they impact policy decisions, they're political. If they're statements about policy decisions, they're political. And it shouldn't have to be like that, because this shouldn't be a question. We should just be like, yeah, people with different body types, cis women with built and defined body types should be okay and normalized and accepted, and shouldn't be ridiculed, and you shouldn't like just assume they're trans because they're buffer than the average cis woman. That's kind of fucked up. Yeah, people, the reason why everything is political is because people themselves make it political, and then they get mad that things are political, but they don't understand that they made it political in the first place. It's extremely unfortunate. It's just a lack of knowledge, and it's bigotry and things that people don't understand. So, okay, now for real this time, I think I'm done talking about this.